Greetings! Welcome to the devlog for hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. We're going to start off as always with a quick sound check. Make sure your speakers aren't up too high. Wonderful. So what have we got for you this week? Well, we have the continuation of working on closed bolt receiver weapons, which thankfully has fixed a number of sort of glitchy behaviors with special features that have existed in the game for a while. So let's start off with our trusty MP5A2 here and take a look at how things are functioning now. As I showed you last week, our sort of bolt and bolt handle systems have been rebuilt. We can pull the bolt past the lock point. The big change for these, which affects both the MP5 and the UMP, is our sort of behavior when we pull back the handle and rotate it up is now significantly improved. It no longer can glitch out or fail to chamber rounds. We can slap it down much more reliably now, and it actually chambers around when you do that. For those of you who don't know, the sort of proper reloading process for an MP5, because it doesn't have bolt hold open and it doesn't have a sort of visible bolt release here, is let's go ahead and load this up, chamber around. Let's go ahead and do a mag up. Wonderful. And then what we do is we pull the handle up, lock it, pull the magazine out, slap a new one in, and just slap our handle to bring it down. Let's hear that in a forest. A little bit of warehouse. Wonderful. So that has it. The UMP has sort of some of the functionality that you expect with an MP5, as well as some convenience features like a manual bolt release here. Let's take a look at how this sounds. Let's do outside and closed. So let's do some two round bursts here. Nice and punchy. Outside open. Forest. Warehouse. Yep. And we're out. So yeah, with the with the UMP, you can do the similar thing where you lock this back up, you pull a magazine out, you pop it in, and you slap it down. Or if the bolt is back because you've just emptied it, you can just pop a new mag in and then tap the bolt release to send the bolt forward. So yeah, so that's it. And then this is the one that I have been waiting to re-implement because it's sort of the, let's call it the pathological case for sound system issues, which is the Vector 45. This has such a high fire rate on full auto that all of the various sorts of issues that you run into doing sound incorrectly, how it is in the current build, namely just sort of spamming sound effects that have the reverb built into them, is that a fast fire rate gun like this, you'll end up hearing distortion and all sorts of artifacts as like 15 gunshot sounds end up stepping on each other. Whereas now, with this new system, this gun in particular sounds so clean. So pull the bolt back. Remember, with the Vector 45, we've got a safety switch back here that our touchpad initiates, and then we've got a forward switch here that can take us to a 2-round burst or full auto. So let's just start an inside narrow, because that's where we are standing. Beautiful. Notice how clean that sounds. No more glitching. Let's do forest. Oh, there we go. This thing just tears through its magazine. Outside open. Brutal. And outside and closed. Beautiful. And we can hear it also sounds just beautiful when we screw a suppressor on here. Oh, I love that sound. Delightful. So yeah, so now that this has been re-implemented and tested with, this was in many ways sort of the final test in terms of the way that the new sound system handles many voices playing at once, and whether it can still hold up to and sound correct. And I'm happy to say it sounds delightful. So, beyond that, something special is happening today, which is that I'm going to be pushing to a special branch on Steam, the very first alpha, which will allow you to play with the firearms that have been re implemented so far. Some things to note with the item spawner is I have disabled a whole bunch of the categories of items. Pretty much the only things that are still active are the guns that have been finished and work. There are a couple in here that will not work, like the Tech 9 and the VZ64 are running on closed bolt code. I don't have those implemented yet. Pretty much everything else that shows up here will work and allow you to play a round with. So I'm going to jump out of VR real quick and talk about a couple details of how the alpha will work and how to jump into it tonight.
Yo! Back out of VR now. So let's talk about today's alpha build push. I did not get as much done this week as I had hoped to in terms of the pooling system, so it is probably just going to be restricted to the indoor range scene for this week. If I make a little more headway in between now, which is when I'm recording this, and when I end up pushing the beta build a little bit later today, it might have 2 or 3 scenes in it. The main reason that I'm restricting them is that while in the process of sort of rebuilding the firearm audio, those have all been mixed significantly lower than the sort of standard sound effects. One of the things that I've done incorrectly over the past while is that everything has basically had its volume turned all the way the hell up, which ends up creating all sorts of distortion when lots of sounds step on each other, because I haven't had everything plugged into a mixer correctly. Now, all of the guns and their related sound effects are mixed at the correct volume. The rest of the game isn't, and while I've been focusing on the firearms, so I haven't really gotten to all of the other scene content. So what this means is, like right now in the Arizona range, if you were to turn your computer volume correctly for the guns to be appropriately loud and shot one of the steel plate targets, it would be deafeningly loud. And so I need to go in and fix all of that and double check that there's no sound effects that can occur or spawn that are way louder than they should be while I'm in this intermediate state where things aren't plugged into a proper mixer yet. And so that's why I wanted to just put a giant warning over if you're going to download and play the alpha. Is that firearms are safe. The further you get away from firearms, the more likely something is to break or to be too loud or to just glitch and not have the correct sound effect plugged in, because I've been pretty much exclusively geared towards the firearms. It's also why, like, the beeps and boops of various sorts of panels they're really dry. There's no reverb to them yet because they haven't been, placed into a correct mixer group with a sort of generic or environmentally reactive reverb yet. It's just the gun sound. So yeah, so to sum up, the alpha build will be available tonight. It will probably just be the indoor range. I'm gonna try to get like the Arizona range up and running. Maybe the warehouse. We'll see, just so that you can actually hear things in their sort of natural environment. That testing panel will be present in the indoor range, so you'll still be able to like click and pick a reverb preset for the gun audio, so you can just see how everything sounds with the various firearms and give things a shot. So I'm going to, I'll be making, when it goes live, I will send an announcement via the Steam page that will also show, for those of you who've never enabled a beta or an alpha branch on Steam, how to do so. I'll take a little screenshot of what the panel looks like. But yeah, so if all goes to plan and nothing explodes, about an hour from when this video goes live, you should be able to download the first alpha. So yeah, I hope you all enjoy it. Once again, if things are broken, please don't spam me with bug reports and things like that. It's super early for that. Stuff's broken. I know it's broken. Please be patient with it being broken. I'm not worried about getting everything super stable and perfect and refined yet. I'm still loading in new content and new systems. So expect it to be janky. So yeah, so either way, I hope you have fun with it, and I will talk to you all next week. Peace.